Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome to biology class. In biology we have to start at our unit number 4, that is cell and tissue. In cell and tissue today we have to learn about our next topic, that is cell membrane. Before cell membrane, in a previous lecture you have to learn about the detailed description of a cell wall, and now we have to study about the cell membrane. In cell membrane, after the lecture, you will be able to know about what is cell, what is cell membrane, what is the basic structure and function of cell membrane, and what are the basic compositions of cell membrane. So first of all, you have to see the image of it is the smallest portion of the cell membrane, and from here you have to see that it is a double layer. So first of all, I will tell you about the cell, that as we know that all plants and animals are made up of cell, and cell is the basic structure and functional unit of a living organism, and inside the cell we have a different type of organelles such as mitochondria, ribosome, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum. So these organelles must need such a protective layer. So this protective layer help to protect the inner organelles, because every organelles have a specific function. So from here cell membrane is present in the outer region of the cell, and in previous chapters you have to study about the kingdom, that cell membrane is present in kingdom Animalia, while cell wall is absent in kingdom Animalia. While in kingdom Plantae, they contain a cell wall. The outer layer is made up of cell wall, and the second layer is made up of animal cell. So first of all, we have to study about that what is the actual structure of cell membrane. As you see in the slide, that this structure is called the fluid mosaic model. Fluid mosaic model was first discovered in 1972. The Singer and Nicholson, they can give the correct sequence of the pattern of the cell membrane. It was the most acceptable model. So we have to study about that what is the basic composition of the cell. So in the picture you have to see the image, that from here you have a two membranes, the upper membrane and the lower membrane. So it is made up of lipid. That's why they are called lipid bilayer. Lipid bilayer means that the outer layer is made up of lipid, and the lower layer is also made up of lipids, and these lipids are combined to form a bilayer. That means it make a two layers, so they are called the lipid bilayer, and it was first proposed by Singer and Nicholson. After that, you have to see the clear picture of fluid mosaic model. What is meant by the fluid? The fluid means that the liquid substance on which the cell membrane is float, and these molecules are continuously present in a floating position. So in this picture you have to see it is the smallest portion of a cell membrane, and you have to see a clear image that the outer layer which is made up of lipid, and the lower layer it is also made up of lipids, and the inner side you have to see the two thread like structures, they are made up of cholesterol. So that's why they are called a lipid bilayer. That means that they contain of the two layers. Inside the cell membrane there is also further component is more present. For example, protein is about present 60 to 80%, lipid is present about 20 to 40%, and carbohydrate is present about 2 to 10%. Lipid is now present in a combined form in the form of phospholipid or cholesterol. And from here you have to see in the diagram that glycolipid. So glucose combined to lipid and they form a glycolipid. So some of the molecules of glycolipid is present on the cell membrane. The another side you have to see the glycoprotein. So some of the glycogen combine with the protein and they form a glycoprotein. And from the lower side you have to see the yellow structures, the rounded form structure that is called the cholesterol. And this cholesterol is also present in the cell membrane. Another thing, in this membrane you have to see some protein molecules. Some of the proteins are present on the surface while some of the proteins are stay embedded between the two bilayer. So you have to see the proteins, that the proteins are present between the cell membrane, the lipid bilayer, and that help in the transportation. From which type of transportation? For the transportation of material from the outer region to the inner region of the cell, and from the inner region to the outer region of the cell. After that, you have to see in the next slide that they have a proper proteins channels. Those protein which are stay embedded in the bilayer. So from here you have to see that the substances are moved in and out of the cell, and some of the proteins, some of the molecules which are diffuses through the cell membrane, like we have some of the lighter particles such as oxygen and carbon dioxide. So these type of molecules or elements are easily moved through the cell membrane, while some of the larger molecules, due to their large size, they are unable to enter to the diffusion. So they are entered to these proteins channels. So these protein channels help in the transportation of material. In the next slide you have to see the clear image of bilayer, that the first one is the lipid, and the no lower side they have the two fatty acid. The fatty acid are attached with the two fatty acids are attached with the one lipid. So that is the image of the lipid bilayer. After that, the lipid bilayer consists of the two parts. The upper portion, that is hydrophilic. What does hydrophilic means? They are the water lover. That means that they love water because they are present in the outer region in the hydrophilic form, while in the lower form, that is made up of cholesterol. So the lower region is hydrophobic. Hydrophobic means they are water hater. That's why they are present in the inward position of the cell membrane. After that, the cell membrane is also called the selectively permeable membrane. Why they are called selectively permeable membrane? Because it allow just few of the molecules, just few of the compounds inside the cell, and just few of substances that they allow to in and out of the cell. That's why they are called the selectively permeable membrane. After that, we have the last topic, that what is the basic function of cell membrane. So the first function is that it provides protection. What does it mean? That as I told you in the start of the lecture, that different type of organelles which are present inside the cell, and every organelle have their own specific function. So what will be happening, that they have the specific type of function, so they need a specific type of protection. So cell membrane provide the protection to the inner material that is present inside the cell. The another thing is some of the waste, that we have to know that every organelle have their own specific function. So from here, some of the waste which are collected inside the cell, and these waste are excreted out through the cell membrane from the cell. The next thing is selectively permeable membrane. What does it mean by selectively permeable membrane? That in some of the molecules which are move freely in the lipid bilayer, some of the carbon dioxide, oxygen, These molecules are moved freely in the lipid bilayer through the process of diffusion. So, what is diffusion? Diffusion means that the movement of molecule from the region of high concentration towards the low concentration. But the glucose, which is a higher molecule, the water, the ions, and a special type of they need a special type of facilitative proteins, and through these facilitative proteins these molecules are passed. Without these proteins they are unable to pass through the cell membrane, and this type of transportation is called the passive transportation. From here it does not need any type of energy while transporting the material such as ATP. What is ATP? ATP is an energy currency that some of the molecule need energy. So from here in the transportation that there is no need of energy, and after that some of the lipids, steroids, hormones, alcohol, they are also form a non-polar region of the membrane, move rapid across the membrane. That means they are transferred to the facilitative proteins, and these facilitative proteins help in the transportation of these substances. Another thing is the polar molecule, water, H2O, glucose, urea, they have low solubility, therefore penetrate the cell membrane more slowly. That means the molecule are moved very slowly in the cell membrane. Another thing is the last function is from the cell membrane. Chemical and physical property of the cell membrane control the free passage of ion in the in and out of cell. That means that we have some of the chemicals which carry charges. So these ions or molecules are freely moved from in and outside of the cell. So I hope you will be understand the today's lecture that we have to study about the cell membrane, and you thank you so much.